Hello, get back to Voice Series, second edition. It was a bit of time. And I entered immediately into the topic. I had no idea how to title this because it's something that I know some of you will say, oh no, but we have yet the answer. How to make an artist effective when working with his voice. Also, how to make a voice that doesn't function become a voice that functions.
Do you like Bob Dylan?
Yes, I do like Bob Dylan.
Well, he's over 16. I quite like watching his shows. I think it's quite fun, and I enjoy watching him.
Yes, I enjoy watching him, but his voice is...
You don't like his voice? It's a funny voice, you know, it's like a voice that's never been one of the great tenors of our time.
No.
But it's got a timbre, and it's got a projection, and it's got a feeling. So, and you were talking about...
Today it will be more questions than answers. And sometimes questions are important, relevant, I'm going to say explicative of what reality is. To better see a problem, we have to look at it. We have to get into reality, or what this problem is, or what this situation is. I made on Instagram, I made 2 polls, and I asked, when a voice does well, will it sound good? I did not ask, will it sound better? I did ask, will it do correctly, good? Meaning in pitch, with appropriateness, with a nice color, with a great color, with great interest. I did set the answer on no. Doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. Of course it happens. It happens all the time. It happens all the time into my class. It's fun because when I say those kind of things, some of my students, or who knows me, can say, what the hell? You're talking about voices not sounding in perfect pitch and not sounding so into the order of the things, while during your lessons you stay all the time asking to go into the perfect pitch, to go into the creative process of the best sound your creative soul is telling you to do. And the exercises I found and all those practices from the physical point of view, the musculoskeletal point of view especially, that I'm presenting in conferences, therefore what? To have a better voice, to have a better pitch, to have a better control. So why now I'm telling? We make a step back. Do you remember last year when I started this voice series that I'm asking to make a different kind of imagination into the model? A more, probably a realistic model, more complex, from which usually you don't think about for voice. For voice, very often I find into the discussion or into the practice thinking about one thing, and then you play around with some tricks to develop it and to make it change in the time and evolve eventually. Yeah, okay, it's a point, it's correct. It has been done like that for long years and it's okay. It is not all. And it is not so precise. What I'm telling you is that I'm putting what makes our voice as ingredients. If you remember, the first episode was on what? What are the systems into ourselves contributing to voice production? And you see this photo. So the other question that I ask you, all those systems, can we really develop, regulate, all together like that? Of course not. Of course not. They have different logics of behavior. They have different hierarchies of behavior, some preferential and some that we want to make preferential. What is the strong point of this view? And the strong point of looking at voice as what is made of is that no matter your point of starting, you can assess a little better some effective, realistic, implementable ways of strategically work on the whole as a cognitive and complex function, and also, or for cycles, or when required, on the parts to work specifically into the time that is very important to develop, change and grow some things. Now I go from an artistic point of view. Artistically, what do we find interesting? What do we find meaningful? A question that we pose since centuries. A question that in my work is central, because I don't work just on the mechanical aspect. Since I'm an artist, and I was an artist, I try to do what? To do the best interest of my clients. And into this best interest is the fact that they have something to say, they would like to say something, they're very clear and specific on something that they have yet found. And all those things, are they better represented by a perfect instrument? I go on the side. Perhaps some of you know someone, or have known someone, or heard Maria Callas live, or Renata Tebaldi, or the great Katia Ricciarelli, before her voice changed. If you heard Renata Tebaldi, you had some kind of experience. Pretty constant, pretty amazing. She was very reliable in her performances. Wonderful voice, a sound. They say that even into the pianissimo could vibrate the space. That is something that opera singers learn to do, and is the fantastic thing of being acoustic, because you make the place vibrate, and with the place the people into. That is quite amazing. If those who have heard Maria Callas, I knew a pianist of very high level, winner of many things and then teacher for many years, very refined, who told me Maria Callas was amazing, unexpected. One performance on two, you had to be like that, all the performance, because she was really completely out of pitch, out of order, a disaster. The one who was not like that, she told me it was an experience that I could have never imagined to have during my life. I say some other things. A classical singer of the period of the Callas, and I have the same representative at Emmy recording EMI recording, who was Elizabeth Schwarzkopf, was renowned for her musicality and her capacity of working all the nuances and some unexpected nuances of phrase and sound and meaning into the words and into the composition in itself from a very formal point of view with her sound. And she was from Germany. Then she was naturalized English, UK specifically. In the successive era, when we started having more recordings than performances in some sort, meaning when people started listening to recordings more than going to performances or playing by themselves at home, that was a very common thing in the past, less now. It's starting back, becoming something very usual. But when all the recordings came out, it became very rare. What happened? That they started criticizing her for the pronunciation. She was mother tongue. But she was doing what? She was doing as Maria Callas. She was choosing performance, meaning, some implicit to get beyond into the explicit with her instrument. They started saying something also on a specific violinist, that is Yehudi Menuhin. Something that live from the public did not come out, it started coming out after, as a judgment of level, of craftsmanship, of capacity. And again today there will be questions. Do you really think less of Maria Callas, knowing that experience of this pianist? Me, no, not at all. Why she didn't do as Renata Tebaldi? Was she less technical than Renata Tebaldi? This I don't know. I have no idea. Was she choosing? I'm convinced of that. And again, is it the true answer, the one that I'm giving you? Of course not. Reality is complex. Reality is made of many different planes on which we can play exactly our complex system. So when we choose something, we are choosing what? Not to choose something else. Also said, we are choosing what will be wrong. And when you make specific, convinced, strong choices, you lose the perfect balance. Is it a problem? I think that for Callas, at the end was not a problem. I don't know, we should ask her. We should have asked. Perhaps she would have wanted to get where she went without paying that high price. But what I ask to you is, do you want to risk Maria Callas? Judging the whole by when she's doing something that is not like the Tebaldi or the Eline Farrell or the Ricciarelli before the change of the voice, or the Jascha Heifetz, which is another violinist who was absolutely perfect all the time. Do you want to risk not to have an Edwin Fischer because they say he doesn't play as refined and not wrong as others? I would never. And again, my question is, from my professional point of view, I work before they become a Callas, before they become an Eileen Farrell, before they become a Yehudi Menuhin. Oh, this is a bit wrong because Yehudi Menuhin was yet what he was when he was very young, so I take out Yehudi Menuhin. I work with those that will not get to be Maria Callas, but they will give a lot of things in the style of Maria Callas to their public. And clearly their public loves them, as Bob Dylan. We have one of the Jonas Brothers saying he can't sing. We have there saying he's giving you feeling, he's giving you a color, he's giving you a delivery.
It's got a timbre and it's got a projection and it's got a feeling.
To me, that I'm professional, I make a step forward because it's my choice to make a step forward. It's my choice into my work to say, I want to see the most complex I can see with all my limits. Why? Because I'm asking you questions. I don't have the answers. If I had the answers, I was convinced that I was seeing all the universe, all the reality. Nobody does. Nobody does. But my search is searching this complexity and asking myself to better serve my clients. What is the minimum we have to get effective? And what is not so important as minimum because it contains other meanings? Bob Dylan, he was not a representative of the bel canto world of his years. He was a representative of something else, of something that existed, was becoming relevant into the recognition of their dignity, not only as human beings, but as artists, as humans with whole capacity. Could he sound exactly as a bel canto one? I don't know. I don't know. He studied, they say this, he studied with Seth Riggs. From some pages that he writes, he have vocal awareness. Does he have the same technique as a Renata Tebaldi? No. But also, if you read in here, some says that Billie Holiday doesn't have the same technique. It is questionable, because what do we think is technique? What do we call technique? We will have some other answers in the future. I will give minds next episodes, but also Lidizzi. Lidizzi started not as she is now, that she's amazing, fantastic, unbelievable. Also, some of you told me that they didn't like Veronica Swift because she was too pushy, too into the sound, not yet with refinement into the ballads. And I was, she's into the process of development. That we will talk in the next episodes more specifically. But now the thing is, what with Lidizzi? She made, in the correct time, maintaining her specific creative attitude, trustful that she will evolve. How she will evolve, till what point? In my experience professional, and it is the last thing we talk about today, is we cannot say. That's why I study as I study, because nobody can say. But I know that strategic, rational, functional practices open the possibility of getting where the specific artist can take the time to develop artistically and instrumentally where he is is truth in an effective way. Last point. I did sing something into a situation very different from the past, with a voice that is very different from the past, and I decided to put it on YouTube. Why did I put on YouTube? Because again, I'm telling you that this epoch in which we are is the epoch in which we own the artistic process. We own our personal truth. We give grace to this personal truth. No need to put autotune. I would not be better without autotune. My instrument has, on the right side, many discrepancies. From a physical point of view, if you want to laugh, my osteopath tells me all the time, Lucia, what the hell? What can I do for you? You are not anymore as a functional anatomy. You are too much different with all the scars and the surgeries and the effects of those surgeries. Yeah, I have the right side shortened, asymmetrical, and with some issues for which it goes out of phases when I do the notes. Why did I put myself on YouTube? Because if you don't own yourself, you will not start the growing process. And I don't have to tell myself that I'm different from what I was, that I'm different from what I am. I hear myself very well. And is it harsh somewhere not to be anymore at the formal level I was previously? Yes, of course. But I want to give me some grace, because there are some other things that my voice still conveys, and again conveys, and this is precious. So again, I put myself into those questions. Where will I go? Objectively, I don't have the expectancies of, because I've yet done that, and then I've been damaged. But at the same time, it is important for me and for my process, not for you. Also because one fundamental point that will be the center of next episode, I don't teach you so that you become like me. It is the Michael Boyle, do I look the part? No, he doesn't. He is the part. I am the one with sufficient tools to make you become you, not me. So it doesn't matter how now I sound from your perspective point of view, because I'm not getting again where I was before. I will have a different kind of public, I will have a different kind of repertoire. Yes, of course. But reality has always been like that. There have always been many different realities. See you next time.